Hello everyone, and thank you so much for visiting my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a cute little granny square. And you can use 4 colors if you'd like to change color after every round, but you can do it with 1 color or just 2, whatever you like. And you'll need scissors, a crochet hook, and a yarn needle. You don't have to have a yarn needle, but it helps enormously. And they're easy to find and not expensive. So we're going to start with a magic ring. So if you need to slow this video down, you can do so in the settings, or you can stop and go back and watch this again. I also have another video for the magic ring. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through that loop to lock your magic ring, and that is a chain stitch. And you can make your magic ring a little smaller. I like to make mine about the size of a dime. And I crochet around the tail. You can see the tail along the edge there. We're going to chain 2 for a total of 3 chain stitches. And then we're going to do 2 double crochet stitches in our ring. So there's 1 right there. And make another double crochet stitch. And we're going to chain 3. And we're going to do that 3 more times. Double crochet 3, chain 3, 3 more times. So double crochet stitch and another double crochet stitch, and we'll do a 3rd double crochet stitch and chain 3. And look how nice that forms a little corner when you do that chain 3 between the clusters. So chain 3. And we're going to do 3 double crochet stitches again. There's 1. Yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, yarn over, pull through or pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over again and pull through 2 for a double crochet stitch. Now we'll do our 3rd one for this cluster. Okay, and now we have to chain 3. Look, there's 2 nice little corners. So I'll probably be referring to those chain 3 spaces as corners. So chain 3 and double crochet 3 one more time. And we'll have a total of 4 clusters of 3 double crochets. And I also have videos for beginning to crochet. I have a couple of videos to help you just get started if you're just learning to crochet. So you can learn how to hold your hook and yarn, and you can learn how to make chain stitches. And then another video will show you how to make your double crochet stitches and single crochet stitches. So now after your last chain 3, you're going to find the 3rd chain at the top of that chain 3 that we did at the beginning, and you're going to slip stitch into that one. If you'd like to change colors now, you can finish the last stitch with your new color. So I'll show you after the next round. I'm gonna do 2 rounds with I'm gonna do the 2 rounds with 1 color, and then I'll show you how to change colors. Now to start round 2, chain 4. 3 chains there count as a double crochet, and then you have a chain 1. Now we're going to go into the corner chain 3 space, the first corner, and we're going to double crochet 3 and chain 3. and then double crochet 3 again into the same space there in the corner. Okay, so double crochet 3 times. That chain 4 counts as a double crochet. That chain 4 we did at the beginning counts as a double crochet stitch and a chain 1. So between each corner we'll chain 1. But right now I've done 3 double crochet stitches, and now I'm chaining 3. And we're going to double crochet 3 times again into the corner space. And when we get to the end, we're going to only do 2 double crochets in the last cluster, because that 3 chains of that chain 4 will count as one of our double crochet stitches. Okay, so I've done 2 double crochet stitches for this cluster, and I'm doing the last one. So there we have 3 double crochets, a chain 3, and 3 double crochets in the corner. Now chain 1, and we're going to go into the next corner and double crochet 3 times, chain 3, and double crochet again 3 times in the same space. Sometimes you have to pull your stitches over to make more space along that chain 3. So 3 double crochet stitches and chain 3. There we go. And now we're going to do 3 double crochet stitches again into that same space. All right, so there's our second corner finished. And we're going to chain 1 between those corners, chain 1. And now we're going to do the same thing in the next corner. Double crochet 3. And chain 3. And double crochet 3 again in the same space. And if you need to pull those stitches over a little bit to make more room, you can. And now we need to chain 1 and do the last corner. And we're going to double crochet 3, chain 3, and then that last chain 3 there is going to count as a double crochet. So we'll double crochet 3 times and chain 3, and then double crochet 2 times this for this corner. So there's 3, chain 3, and double crochet 2 times, because 3 of those chains are going to count as a double crochet. Okay, double crochet 2. And every other round, you're going to start with a chain 4. Okay, so now we have 2 double crochets for this cluster, and we're going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain of the chain 4. And that the 4th chain there will be our chain space between our corners. Okay, I like to try and get my hook under 2 strands of yarn in that chain, so that last little chain counts as the space between the chain between the clusters. Okay, now I slip stitched into that 3rd chain of that chain 4, but I want to change colors. So here I just remembered that I need to finish the last stitch with a new color. So I took it apart. I'm taking it apart here, and I'm going to put my hook into the chain stitch, that 3rd chain stitch, but now we're going to cut the yarn and we're going to change colors. So I'm going to grab another color, and you're just going to want to put that over the end of your hook like so. You can kind of hold it on and slip stitch, pull through everything with your new color. And now drop your tail, and you're going to want to hold that, tighten everything up because it wants to loosen up when you're doing this. So hold those tails so those stitches won't loosen up. And then yarn over and pull through that loop. You want your loop to be very small on your hook there. And yarn over and pull through, and we're going to chain 3 all together. So that's 3 chains. And now we're going to double crochet in that chain 1 space 2 times. The chain 3 counts as a double crochet stitch. And keep holding those tails for a bit behind your work there, and it will not loosen up so much. Once you get a stitch made, it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. So that's our first cluster, and you're going to chain 1, and then we'll do a corner. Now you'll see that every single corner is going to be the same, starting with round 2. You're going to double crochet 3 times, chain 3, and double crochet 3 times, and chain 3, and double crochet 3 times again. Oh, looks like I'm weaving my hair into the work. Okay, so double crochet 3 more times in the same space. And every single corner will be exactly the same. And we're going to chain 1. And then we have to do a cluster this time on each side. We're going to double crochet 3 times into the chain 1 spaces on the sides. And with each consecutive round, you'll have an extra cluster to do on the side. So for this round, we only have 1 cluster on the side. And then you'll chain 1, and you'll do your corner. It's double crochet 3 times, chain 3, and double crochet 3 times again into the corner. And the corners will all be that way on every round. So now, once you do this a couple times, you'll realize that you can quickly memorize the corners. And just remember, you have to chain 1 between the corners and each cluster on the side. So finish your corner and then chain 1. And now we'll double crochet 3 times into the chain 1 space on the side. In the next round, you'll have 2 chain 1 spaces on the side. So you'll do a cluster, then chain 1, and another cluster on the side, and then do a chain 1 and a corner. Double crochet 3, chain 3, and double crochet 3 again in the corner. Chain 1, and do your cluster on the side. Just double crochet 3 times into that space. And chain 1. And we're ready to do our last corner. And again, double crochet 3 times, chain 3, and double crochet 3 times again into the same space. Chain 3, double crochet 3 again in the same space. One more. All right, and we will chain 1. Almost finished. Look at that. Good job. You're doing great. So chain 1, and you're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that we started with at the beginning. So find that chain, that third chain there, and slip stitch. And remember, if you're changing colors again, you're going to want to finish this with a new color. So you can cut your yarn and pull in your next color. those tails down. Place your yarn over your hook and hold it while you pull through everything for a slip stitch. We're going to finish and do our slip stitch with the new color, and you just want to pull just a little bit of yarn up. Just keep that little loop on your hook snug. Hold those tails down, tighten them up, pull them a little to tighten up the stitch, and then hold them with your finger behind your work until you make a stitch or so, and then you can let go. So chain 4 this time. Remember I said on every other round you'll chain 4 at the beginning. Okay, and now we're going to go into that chain space on the side, double crochet 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now we chain 1 and do our corner, our first corner. Now also remember that chain 4 counts as a double crochet stitch and a chain 1. So at the end we'll only do 2 double crochets for the last cluster. So now we're doing our corner, double crochet 3 times, chain 3, and double crochet 3 times in the same space. For my next project, for a YouTube video, I'm going to make a peas in a pod. A friend of mine wanted to see that, so check that out. Watch for that. It'll be up soon. Okay, so we're going to repeat that. We're going to double crochet 3 times in each side, chain 1 space and chain 1. And then we'll do our corners. Double crochet 3, chain 3, double crochet 3 in the corner. And you can stop the video and finish if you like, or you can slow it down in the settings. And I'm just speeding up because we've already seen all of this. So with each consecutive round, if you wanted to make a giant granny square, you could just keep making rounds and just do 3 double crochets in each side space, chain 1, and then do your corners. The corners are all the same with every single round. So you can continue, and you could just make a giant granny square and turn it into a blanket. Or you can stop after this round and slip stitch and weave in all your tails, and you can connect them together. I'm going to show you how to connect squares together, and that can be really fun. You could do some solid squares and alternate with multiple colored squares. And so here we're at the last space, and we need to do 3 double crochet stitches, but for this cluster we only actually need to make 2, because that chain 3, the 3 chains of the chain 4 from the beginning count as a double crochet stitch. So I'm going to finish off. I'm just going to slip stitch. I had to tighten that first stitch up. Okay, and then you'll just slip stitch to the top of the 3rd chain of the chain 4, and we're finished with the granny square. So now you can cut your yarn, and you're going to want to weave in your ends. Pull that all the way out, and you'll want to weave in your ends. So I'll show you how to finish off the edge beautifully here. This is my favorite way to finish the edge, and it makes it look as if you can't see the beginning. So you'll skip a stitch, pull your yarn through, and then you'll run the yarn under the last stitch that you did toward the back, pull that snug, and then stretch it out a little bit. And look, you can't tell where you began and where you ended. It looks so nice. What you've actually done is created a false stitch, but by skipping a stitch, you keep the stitch count the same also. You did it. Good job. And so you can make a lot of these squares and make a bag or a scarf or a blanket. So many things you can do with these cute little squares. So here's how you can join two squares together invisibly. There are other ways to join your squares, so you can check those out. Let me just do a search on YouTube and you'll find lots of different ways to join squares. But this is one of my favorite ways. And so you just put a piece of yarn on your yarn needle and put it underneath right in the middle of your stitches. Just run it under the edge there of a stitch. Go under one on one square and then go under one on the next square, moving your needle in the same direction with each stitch. And I'm using a contrasting thread just so you can see how wonderfully it hides your stitching. You'll see when I finish a few stitches here. So just go back and forth, running under a stitch on one side in the same direction each time, and then going to the next square and running it underneath a stitch on the next square. Oh, doesn't want to pop through. Okay. And then you'll just pull it really tight after you finish like that. Pull it really tight, and look, it just hides your thread inside. You can't even see that color hardly at all. I mean, just a tiny bit there. And so if you were going to do this, you would normally use a matching color. So I'm just using this to show you how well it hides the thread. So you'll just continue all the way to the end. And it's just such a nice way to join these squares. And with practice, you can get faster. I'm not very fast at this, but I haven't done this very much, actually. I should make a blanket, a granny square blanket. And you know, I remember my grandmother always had chevron blankets. That was her pattern that she learned, and she always had the chevron, the zigzag, pattern. She had blankets, always had blankets on her couch like that. And she had certain colors available to her, but we are so blessed now to have so many colors available to us. So we can make beautiful things. It's so nice. And so, of course, you're going to want to use a matching color to join your squares, and that would be even better. So thank you so much for coming to visit my channel and watch my video. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope you'll like and subscribe to my channel. And let me know if there's anything you'd like to see, anything you're interested in that I could make a video on. And you have a wonderful day, and I hope you'll come back and see what I have in the future. I'll be making videos regularly, hopefully, and get them up every week. Or at least every 2 weeks. Thank you so much. Have a great day.